Hello, thank you for tuning into this week's section of reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. This should be on the YouTube channel, James 13 Wicca. I will be putting the dice and the decks I'm using below. Other than that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's also below, same email. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the reading you chose. Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Scorpio? It's a very slow rotation so far. I don't think that's new for this situation. You got the Six of Wands at the bottom, which is success. I keep thinking I'm hearing a train. I don't know why. Huh. Like, you know how a train sounds when it goes over the tracks? Like, dush, 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 dush. I keep... All right. Well, it is what it is. So it's almost like this is maybe going along like that. It's like a long haul type thing. It seems to me that it's moving slow. It just feels like it's kind of going and going and going and going and going. Part of this is okay. Even though it sounds very monotonous to me, it's holding things in a place where they got the Seven of Wands on the dice too. It's keeping it out of harm's way. You got the Strength card reversed, which I feel like whatever's been going on might be negating out somebody else's ability to mess up things. The way it's been going has kept things under control. It could be very static. It could be moving very slowly, but it may be controlling a different energy that's very hard to manage. It may be successfully managed at the moment, but it's not the easiest energy to manage. It's been going how it's been going for a while. It's been going how it's been going for a while. I think I said that right. Whatever this is extremely important to you if it's hitting. It's very, very important because I get Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups for you. The Devil's at the top, which is telling me it feels very controlled, but sometimes the Devil card talks about Capricorn energy. Capricorn and Scorpio tend to get along. Scorpio can deal with that. It's also kind of in like, well, if I'm getting what I need out of this, if this is keeping things where I need them to be, Scorpio would do as Scorpio needs to do. Scorpio is one of those leader energies that just kind of like, if it's going where I need it to go, if it's staying healthy, if this is what I want from it, I can deal with that. I can make that work. Knowing what's expected can be a little bit draining at times, but at the same time, if it's getting me what I need, if it's keeping this healthy, I can do what I need to do. I being Scorpio. Scorpio can do what Scorpio needs to do. There's a lot of energy here. Like, this is important. I won't be blanking around with it. And nobody else will be blanking around with it either. Blank, obviously, is a different word. That's how it's coming through. I'm not blanking around with it, and nobody else is going to be blanking around with it either. It's very, like, it's not mean. I don't think it's aggressive. I think it's just like, here's the billboard. Y'all better pay attention because I'm not playing. I'm not playing. You have the ability to move forward if necessary. This is kind of like, I have the energy. I can make changes if I need to, but I'm only going to do it if I feel completely necessary and it's going to keep me where I want to be. Keep the situation where I want it to be. You are holding this energy back, is what I'm also getting, but it's there. Ace of Wands is there. You're holding that Ace of Wands. You could make a change. You could make a quick change. You don't want to right now, but it could happen if necessary. Why are we saying? Because things are getting kind of rough for a second here. Something here is going a little bit more on the rough side, but at the same time, you might be looking at it like, well, you messed around. Now you're finding out. And it may not be your rules, it may be somebody else's rules. Like somebody broke a different person's rules, and now they're getting the fallout for that. And you're like, well, if I did that, I'd get the same fallout. So you might be looking at it that way. You still care, but you're also looking at this like, you did something you weren't supposed to do. You got the Lover's card and you got the Ten of Cups reversed. Somebody did something they shouldn't have. And ironically, them paying for what they did that they should not have done, if they don't pay for what they did, the structure of this situation will fall apart. I feel like that's how I'm looking at it. Kind of like, no. Whatever I do, if I just get them out of this problem and they don't pay their due, it's not just going to get them out of the problem. It's going to set the whole balance of the situation off, and a lot of other people are going to have a bad outcome. And I feel like I don't want to do that. You have that Ace of Wands holding to the side. You probably have a way to change the situation if you really wanted to, but you're like, I don't feel like that's going to really work out long term. I don't feel like that's fair. Take it with a grain of salt. Readings are for entertainment purposes only. Subjective, of course. You do care. You have compassion. You do care greatly. Like, I feel like I've already got that in there. You do. Your heart goes out to this. But it's like, no. I don't feel like we should do get out of jail card. Get out of jail free card. I don't think we should be doing that here. I feel like people need to own up to what they did. And they got to pay the price for what they did. If I did that, I would pay the price. So, I feel like this is how we got to do this. Ten of Swords is there, which is a brutal card. It is a brutal card. Ace of Wands is there too. Somebody made a decision. They thought they had the ability to change the story. And they didn't. It shook it up, but it didn't quite work. They thought they could do something they couldn't do. And I feel like they need to learn, no, they can't do that on their own. At least not at the moment. They might also still be trying to force their will. I don't feel like it's right. They're not going to succeed with that. Even if you bring in your Ace of Wands, you could change the story. I know there's going to be repercussions one way or another sooner or later, and I don't think they're going to get out of it in the long run. And even if you added in your Ace of Wands, you would just also pay for the mistake. I think you probably know that, though. You probably already know that. Going forward, whatever needs to shake out here is going to shake out, and it will bring more stability to the situation. That's very simple. Do we want to leave it simple? I don't know. I mean, it's fine, right? Do we need to go anywhere with that? Ten of Cups up, right side up. And the Fool card. If this plays out the way it's going, there could be a good moment of healing here. People seem to get along a lot better afterwards. Optimism does return. I feel like people paying their just desserts. It's kind of like you do the damage, you pay to have it fixed. I think that brings a lot of peace in the long run. I do think that brings a lot of peace in the long run. Ten of Pentacles comes in, stability. Ten of Cups is backing it up. As long as it pays out correctly, and I feel like other people are making their own minds up how they feel about that, it does seem to stabilize the situation very well. That might be one of the reasons you're kind of like, no, I don't think I'm going to change the situation. Because I understand There's going to be other things. Success is here. Like, this overall situation has success written right on it with this card. And hopefully long-term stability. The energy that you're dealing with needs to kind of develop a little bit more and needs to understand the actual rules of whatever they're doing. They may have the attitude to where they think they can create the rules as they want to. There's a difference. When you're creating rules, you can't just create a rule just because you want to. You got to look at the situation and what actually makes sense with the situation. You can create a rule off of that. You can't just be like, well, I just don't like green, so I'm just going to make a rule. Anybody who shows up here with green, I'm going to throw them out the second story window. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, we can't be doing those type of rules. If you show up with green at my house, I'm going to take you upstairs and push you out the window. We can't be doing that. But, at the same thing, it's kind of like, setting a rule in the sense of like, it's a little cold in my house, so I'm going to let people know you want to dress warmly. I'll have, little snuggy blankets if you want to cozy up with them, but I'm kind of might put that out there like, hey, I keep my house cold, so I would recommend people bring warmer attire if they're going to hang out at my house. That's ironically not a rule, but that may be something like, it's understanding how to handle the situation correctly, because I get whatever's going on with this person or whoever this is or whatever this is. It's like the green, where if you wear green, I'm going to take you upstairs and push you out the window. That doesn't make rational sense, but they seem to be going in that direction until the fallout happens, and then they realize, oh, I can't just make up some rule because I just want to. I know I'm making that really sound a little bit comical, but I think you understand what I'm saying. I feel like if I'm saying it right, you get what I'm saying. Queen of Cups coming in, and the Wheel of Fortune. Random isn't just random in this situation. There's a moment coming up where they're saying something, you're going to take it as like, oh, that was just random. That is not random. Be careful, be aware, be diligent. I don't know what I want to say with this. I really don't, because it's kind of like there's this chance that something random is going to happen, and you might think about it for a second and then write it off. It's coming up with this situation. I'm trying to understand where we're going with it, because I'm getting like, you have the ability to see through it. You're Scorpio. You can, if you give yourself a minute, you can see through it. You may not want to, but if you do, it's better for you and other people. It's also one of those things, I'm thinking of a Scorpio I know, where the signs are there and they just did not want to see them. And Scorpio's very strong, so they just moved on from it. And then later, the rest of it came forward. So it's not like you're going to completely escape it just because you don't want to see it. You're more empowered knowing ahead of time. There's something random happens and you're just going to be like, oh, they're just being random. And you're going to want to just not see it for what it is. The possibility here is to kind of take a little closer look at that and kind of, your instincts. If you pay attention, there's a reason you don't want to look at it. Because it's going to be like, oh, I don't want to look at that. And you're like, no, it's just random. It's going to be one of those things. You're going to know there's a reason why you're like, oh, I don't like that. Find the truth. Find the truth. It will set you up to a better future. You may not like what you find, but you're going to see it sooner or later anyway. And the sooner you see it, the better you can handle it. The more you can make it turn out in a good way. Certain things are just what they are. The sooner you know, the better it goes. Something that seems random is not random. That's what I keep getting. They're just giving a heads up with that. And I feel like a lot of you're instantly going to remember. Once it happens, you're going to be like, oh, no, it's just random. And it's just going to click in your brain like, oh, I should look deeper. It's just going to, especially if this reading is hitting, it's just going to click and be like, oh, I should look deeper. I don't want to. But it's in your benefit and the situation's benefit if you do. Do what you got to do. Because sooner or later, there's something else here that the tower hits, that's going to bring healing in. The sooner that tower hits, the better. I'm sorry, but that's what they're saying, because it leads to healing. So I don't know what's going on here. It's a general read, but if you see it sooner and you just kind of like, yeah, I know that's not right. Yeah, you'll probably bring in the tower energy, because you're like, no, we're not doing that. Because if you look deeper, you're going to be like, oh, no, we're not doing that. And you will bring in the tower moment. If you decide to kind of like, oh, it's just random and just kind of, I don't want to deal with that. It'll linger, it'll linger, it'll linger, and it'll just show up and ba-boom. And it'll be like, oh, it's more of a power moment for you to find it and set it off. It'll go better for you. It will go better for you. It's going to lead to healing either way. I actually feel like it's more meaningful healing. I just feel like the quality of healing is higher if you set this off, by the way. It reminds me of like going to like, you know, the dentist, and kind of like, if it just goes off on its own, it's kind of like, well, we're not going to use any pain medicines, but we're going to drill out your tooth and fix this cavity. You'll be doing a lot better. It's going to be hell because we're going to torture you through the whole thing. But you'll heal and you'll be fine. Versus if you knock over this tower, it's kind of like, well, we're going to use the correct way. We're going to use the Novocaine. We're going to get it fixed. It's not going to be an enjoyable situation, but it doesn't have to be so traumatizing that you're afraid of the dentist for the rest of your life. Follow me that way? I feel like that makes sense. That's what I'm saying. Reality has to come in. Part of this tower hitting is somebody isn't living in reality and they need to live in reality. And when I say that, they just may not realize that certain things are just how certain things work, you know? It's kind of like realizing not all fish can live in a goldfish bowl. It's just not going to work. And even with a goldfish bowl, you have to clean off that water every now and then. It's kind of like that type of thing. Like, they're not understanding. They're thinking rules apply, or rules, like, it'll always be this way. No matter what fish I want, I can just put it in this little tank here and it'll be fine. And I can just leave it there and have it for as long as I want. No, that's not reality. So somebody's not working in the realm of reality, even though they might think they are. That's part of this. I know that's an analogy. Hopefully that's not too weird of an analogy, but I feel like you get what I'm saying. There's also, after that tower hits, there's other support that will be coming in. King of Wands coming in with love. The King of Wands is not really a compatible energy for Scorpio, usually. Just baseline energy, usually. Because it comes in, it does what it wants, it doesn't ask, it just does. And it can be very analytical sometimes, or it can be very just, this is what seems to work today, this is what we're doing. It's coming in with love, though, telling me that it's a very healing energy. It may be very contrary to the way you would do things, but there's a good energy coming in here. The energy that's needing to be corrected will be demoted. Demoted, but it's not a bad thing. It's being demoted, not destroyed, is what they're also saying, because it's coming in with a page. It's going down to a page energy with justice, saying it's getting demoted and going down a few levels, but it doesn't mean it can't rise back up. If it does rise back up, it's going to be reformed and it's going to be re-educated in a way that actually makes sense for the situation. Are we good? It just seems to abruptly, like, that's that for that. Whew. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.